Welcome to This Generation. I'm Bethany Stanley. On today's program, we travel up the Koyukuk River to the Athabascan village of Huslia, where you will find out just what it takes to live in interior Alaska. Join us as we take a look inside the lives of the people of Huslia, Alaska. It is located on the north bank of the Koyukuk River, about 290 miles west of Fairbanks. The people of Huslia, Alaska are of Athabascan descent and are masters of the art of survival. From the clothes they wear...
Okay, this is a glove. Looks like a homemade. Looks like a homemade gloves. All the moose skin, beaver skin.
To the food they eat, the land and waters have provided a life for these amazing people.
Okay, this is dried moose meat. It's smoked in the smokehouse for 5 days, along with smoke and some garlic salt. And then after we dry it, we bag it in gallon bags. Then we chop it up like this in little pieces, and we just munch on it with little bear fat, which is right there. It's just like we dice up the bear fat and we make it like bacon and take all the grease out of it, and we put grease in a cup. And we eat that separate too with some dry meat, but this right here is just bear fat. And this over here is smoked salmon, Yukon smoked salmon. For me to get this fish, I trade with my sister down at Koyukuk. I send her some of this dried moose meat, and then she send me fish of the same weight, and that's how we trade. We don't buy fish.
It's a way of life that demands respect and a lot of hard work. Selina Sam and her daughter are busy preparing a meal fit for a king, bear meat soup. The Koyukuk River serves as a main transportation route year-round, but most of Huslia's groceries, mail, and supplies are flown in by plane.
Okay, yeah, I don't have very much mail going out.
Josh Olin is the village representative for Warblows and Wright Air Services, two companies that fly people and freight to and from rural communities across the state. When the plane gets close to town, Josh and his son Donovan go to work. It's off to the post office, where Donovan picks up the outgoing mail and then to the plane to drop off mail and pick up the incoming supplies and incoming mail. From there, it's back to the post office and off to the family-owned store until the next plane arrives. It's easy to see how different life is in the bush compared to the city. In rural Alaska, you have to earn your living, literally. And speaking of earning, these girls are earning the privilege to do what they love most. Running Tim Pavlick's dogs around 6 Mile Track. For these girls, it's a chance to escape the humdrum of Alaska's long winters while learning the sport of dog mushing.
This is a blend of dog food, oils, and bone meal. They're gonna mix it until the food's really mixed up nice. The kids here are helping me out with the dogs like they usually do. They've been looking forward to running them all summer long. They help me feed the dogs all summer, clean the yard, water them. Well, they enjoyed it a lot. Sometimes I had a four-wheeler to hook up my dogs, and I had a four-wheeler behind us, and both are packed.
Stay tuned for This Generation! Make contact. Make friends. Make fun.
Friends.
Trouble.
Make a point.
Make it happen.
Make believe.
Like
good.
Make
New.
Make
Clear. Make up your mind.
Make peace.
Make inroads.
Right.
Reference. Make change. Change.
Make acceptance.
Make hate.
Make something.
Make a stand.
Make art. Make a difference.
Make noise.
Over the past 12 years, real funding for education has dropped by more than 20%. My opponent says our schools should do more with less. We can't afford that approach. If we want a strong and diversified economy, Alaska needs an educated and well-trained workforce. Education is an investment in our economy. It's as simple as that. If you're looking for a governor who will put education first, you're looking at her.
So they didn't check your ID? No, the store clerks just sold me the cigarettes. Want to try one? Sure, I guess.
What would life look like if you could fast forward a few years?
Here, try this. Back then, I didn't know better, but somebody should have.
1 out of 2 kids who smoke or chew before they turn 18 will die or suffer from a tobacco-related illness. Do the kids in your life a favor. Don't sell, buy, or give them tobacco.
I'm not the norm. I'm not camera friendly.
You know, this year Chris Farley would have been 38 years old.
Chris was a great, funny guy, and everybody loved him. But he made a bad choice.
He started doing drugs, and once Chris started, no matter how hard he tried, he couldn't stop.
And we all miss him dearly.
Don't put an end to the laughter in your own life.
The Chris Farley Foundation asks you to please think,
laugh,
and live.
Autopsy report. Case number 00. Body is that of a well-developed, well-nourished adult Caucasian female. The body is open in the usual manner with a Y-shaped incision. The lungs are 910 grams together. The brain is 1,460 grams. The pericardial surfaces of the 280-gram heart are smooth, glistening, and unremarkable. It is my opinion that the death of Daniel C. Hurd is due to acute drug intoxication. The only drug present in her system was ecstasy.
Welcome back. Growing up in rural Alaska means a life submerged in subsistence and hard work. The youth of Huslia have been taught these skills and are able to provide a life for themselves in Alaska's rugged climate. But survival in the city and other areas outside their village is another story. There has always been a strong emphasis on learning the ways of survival. Hunting, fishing, knitting, sewing, and making everything these people need to live on is a tradition that has been passed down from generation to generation and is still being passed down today. Every summer, families and friends practice and teach these ways to the youth at Fish Camp. For many, Fish Camp is a summer-long camping trip submerged in tradition. At Hudson Sam's camp, the youth are expected to help out as much as everyone else. From fueling the fire to building the fish rack, the youth get hands-on experience learning the ways of their ancestors. It's also an opportunity to fill their freezers full of fish for the long winter that lies ahead. On this one set, Hudson and his crew would catch 98 chum salmon and 2 whitefish, enough fish to feed several families and the many sled dogs that live in Huslia.
We went and checked fish net, caught quite a few fish, probably about 97 or 98. And that was with the fish net, so that was pretty cool. It feels good for tradition. I mean, it's probably something that not many people get to do. And it's pretty fun because it's a different species that you're taken to survive off of.
As Hudson cleans the fish, Sandra, Sam, and Teri Vent wait for a turn to try their hand at the art of fish cutting.
No!
I cut fish and I enjoyed fish too. My first time.
It took us, both of us, like 10 minutes to do one fish. And I even carved a little boat, too. You didn't carve no boat. Yes, I did. Oh.
It's the process of watching, learning, and trying that will make these girls expert fish cutters someday.
Whoa, look how bloody it is. I can't cut the boat.
For now, fish butchers will have to do.
This is why I use stick so it gets full of slime.
After the fish are cut, they are hung to dry on the fish rack by Selina Sam.
These ones are for yogurt that's half dry.
The thinly stripped fish is for human consumption, and the thicker cut fish is for the dogs. Many of these fish will be cut for jarring, which is another skill that these kids are learning today.
Anybody else want to try?
What are you doing? Me. I want to.
Just make your mark.
Yeah.
And then you go again. And then you just cut it right there, and you cut it in half. Okay.
Well, first we had like 2 people cutting the fish, or you had to lay it down, you had to slab it, just cut it up, and then you had to put a teaspoon of salt on the bottom, or we had about small jars, and we had to put a teaspoon of salt on the bottom, and then put a teaspoon of Western oil over the top.
Okay, these are too big. Look. What about this one?
That's Teri's stuff.
It's been pretty fun. It's a cool camp. Nice setup and everything in the garden. It's just a perfect place. It's got this long beach here. Nice camp, nice grounds and stuff for camp. Climbing the hills over there, and getting poles and stuff for the fish rack. Moving the fish net around a couple of times. Watching people cut fish. And going on long walks. Volleyball.
2-1. Oh, Philly!
Since I've been here, it's just like I'm totally relaxed and just having a good time. I mean, when we first came here, I had this agenda of activities that we're gonna do every day. But the first day that we got here, it was like just watching them, just having so much fun, and they just kind of created their own schedule of events to go by, and they just kept going from one thing to the other.
Most importantly, these kids are learning the tradition of subsistence, and in a village where there are very few jobs and almost 300 people living, these skills are crucial for their survival.
There's no jobs here for us to do. There ain't nothing for us. I mean,
it's really hard. It's really hard, except for maybe 18 and older. There's firefighting or there's seasonal jobs, like a carpenter and water development job, and there's hardly any jobs really.
Without these skills, the youth of Huslia would face a challenging future, trying to put food on the table. But what about those kids who want to pursue a career or dream outside of their village? Today, with the help and support of local, regional, and statewide organizations, the youth of Huslia and other villages across Alaska are being provided with programs that offer training and the skills necessary to survive in the unfamiliar world outside their villages. One such program is AmeriCorps.
AmeriCorps has various programs. Our particular program is a youth-focused program. This is a program put on between a Youth Opportunity Grant, Tanana Chiefs Conference, AmeriCorps, and the Huslia Village Council. And we've selected 10 villages to participate this year. And the AmeriCorps members in those villages then work with the youth. They do youth programming with a focus getting the entire community involved in the programs, getting the elders involved, doing elder storytelling, and they also do traditional crafts and skills. They also have a job readiness focus where they also work with the older teens and youth to prepare them to go out and get jobs.
Working hand in hand with AmeriCorps is Tanana Chiefs Conference, one of Alaska's biggest nonprofit organizations that serves interior rural Alaska. It's organizations like these that are looking out for the youth of the bush and are helping assure that the kids of rural Alaska are prepared for the future. Nowadays, thanks to the U.S. Department of Labor, youth from 45 villages across the state are receiving training, work experience, and the skills necessary to participate in the workforce of the 21st century through the Youth Opportunity Program. Under the Workforce Investment Act, the U.S. Department of Labor has granted funding to these villages in Alaska, as well as cities and rural areas across the nation that have high poverty levels and low employment rates. Huslia is one such village where the youth can receive paid work experience, resume writing skills, job preparation skills, support services, and the training necessary to survive in the competitive workforce of today. Each Youth Opportunity member does ISS, or Individual Service Strategy, which is a personalized plan that helps each youth to achieve their objectives and get experience and career field of their choice. For many of these youth, it will be their first time working in a paid position. For all, it will be a step closer to reaching their goals and starting a career. With the unique challenges that face these youth and the obvious ones such as location, the youth of Huslia have got their work cut out for them, dealing with the pressures of a teenager, one of which is a nationwide problem.
Lack of things to do, I think. This town is boring. It's at nighttime, right? Nothing to do for anybody, teenagers or nothing. So it's pretty boring. Everybody just drinks.
There's too many, what would you call them, drug pushers and people that just offers young adults alcohol so freely, and it really hurts our young people. Our young people is going to be our future, and they need to know that, and you know, somebody has to let them know.
A lot of people bootleg, or they sneak drugs into Huslia, and there's a lot of the younger people doing it. And they, like the people that sell alcohol or drugs, they sell it to younger people too. And I know it's pretty easy to get it though.
It's an issue that is affecting much of rural Alaska today. But as Crystal Henry put it so well,
what place doesn't have those problems?
She's absolutely right. In today's times, alcohol and drugs seem to be readily available to adults and kids alike, and Huslia is no exception. It's a decision that the youth of our world will have to make on their own, whether to use drugs or not. For the youth of Huslia, the Youth Opportunity Program offers an alternative. Not only does the program provide training and other services, but it also gives the kids a place to learn and play. The Youth Opportunity Center.
Racing is my anti-drug.
If you started counting heartbeats today, when would you count the millionth one?
Why is a manhole cover round?
If two people have the same batting average and one goes 3 for 4 and the other goes 4 for 5, who has the better average?
Doing math with your family can be fun. Take up the Figure This challenge in your home. Log on to figurethis.org or call toll-free 1-877-GO-SOLVE.
Respect yourself.
Protect yourself.
Protect your liver. It's our internal power plant that keeps us on the go. And it's our guardian angel. It protects us against lots of bad things, like hepatitis viruses and chemical fumes. But if you drink booze, use drugs, or mess around with contaminated needles, your liver can stall and burn out. The choice is yours. Respect yourself.
Protect yourself.
Find out how. Contact Hepatitis Foundation International.
Welcome back. Let's go back to Huslia to see how these youth are preparing for their futures and what kinds of plans their futures hold. For the youth of Huslia, the doors are opening. For Dominic Sam, the Youth Opportunity Program is providing him with work experience in the field of carpentry. Dominic is helping build a room and deck on this house. It's a skill that will come in handy whether Dominic decides to stay in Huslia or leave his village. Either way, it's helping him to level out his life and possibly nail down a career. For Belina Farmer, the program is helping her in a different way. After quitting school a few years back, Belina is now working towards her GED.
I was being nuisance, rebellious, didn't want to listen to nobody, thought I was going to do something else instead of go to school. It just got me in a lot of trouble, so now I wish I never quit. I wish I stayed. Because it's hard to get a job. I was living in Fairbanks for about 2 months, and I had such a hard time getting a job. And so I just thought, you know, I didn't want to struggle anymore, so, you know, do something, so give my daughter a little better chance. So I decided to go to Job Corps and get training done, so when I get out, I'll be able to get a better job, better pay.
For many of Huslia's youth, plans are being made for their futures. Plans that they are making themselves.
I want to go to Fairbanks and go to college, and maybe at the UAF, or else if I can't do that, I'll go to Anchorage or somewhere near Washington where all my family is on my mom's side.
After this year, I'm gonna have to go to summer school in Canada, and then I was thinking about either going to a junior college to play basketball or the Air Force.
I would like them to learn how to do research on finding funding, where to look for funding through university or through Tanana Chiefs or through Doyon. Just know if they don't want to go to college, there's other places to go.
After high school, I want to go get heavy equipment operator training. Make some money, work for a couple of years or something. I'd like to work on a gas pipe, and that'd be really cool. I know there's lots of money going to be in that. So, faster I get out of school, faster I get my training and get that job, hopefully.
I'm going to go to college. I'm going to fill out a bunch of applications for some Ivy League colleges. I was thinking about going to law school. Ever since I was young, I wanted to be a lawyer. You get to argue a lot in court, make a lot of money.
And go to a good college somewhere in the States, out of state. And then after that, go to law school.
So you want to go study to be a lawyer, huh?
Mm-hmm.
What is it about being a lawyer that just makes you want to go do that?
The money.
It's all about the money?
Mm-hmm. Oh, and yeah, it's all about money.
I was thinking either be a secretary, a singer, or a dancer or something.
My dream would be to play at Duke University, play basketball. That'd be my dream.
Play college basketball, play Duke.
Live by the beach, California. That's what I'd like to do. A big mansion, nice balcony, nice view of the beach.
With the help of the Youth Opportunity Program and organizations like Tanana Chiefs Conference and AmeriCorps, the youth of Huslia can see the writing on the wall a little clearer each day.
It gives the kids a chance to socialize without drugs and alcohol and a lot of other things that will just carry kids away and
keep people out of trouble, give everybody something to do, and it'll keep those kids from alcohol and smoking and all that other stuff.
Get their heads together and start doing your work more often. Stay away from smoking and drinking and your friends that influence you to do it.
Just stay in school, do the best I can with their grades and everything, because it really does come to the end. And think about going to college, because college is a good thing.
Just to make sure they know that there's somebody there for them. They're not just standing against a wall and nobody to turn to.
It's going to take time, and fortunately, time is on their side. With a little dedication and a little hard work, the youth of Huslia and the other YO sites will be prepared to face the challenges that lie ahead. It's been a pleasure to bring you this story. We here at This Generation would like to thank the village of Huslia and the wonderful people who live there for letting us into your lives, and thank you for joining us. Be sure to tune in next week for another exciting look at This Generation. Until then, goodbye.
As I walk along, I wonder what's wrong to our love that was so strong. And as I still walk on, I think of things we've done together while our hearts were young. I'm walking in the rain, tears are falling and I feel the pain, wishing you were here by me to end this misery. I wonder, oh, I wonder why, oh, why she ran away, and I wonder where she'll stay, my little runaway, run away. I'm walking in the rain, tears are falling and I feel the pain, wishing you were here by me to end this misery. I wonder, oh, I wonder why, oh, why she ran away, and I wonder where she'll stay, my little runaway, run away, run away, run away.
It's off now?